The fact that I'm wearing a button up is crazy, but
Yeah, you look like
I look like I'm on Sky or something.
yeah, you look like Kave or whatever that guy's name is.
Who?
There's a guy on Sky. His name's like Kave Sokol or something like that. He's a
Oh, the guy that always like, and Chelsea said Cobham and Ronaldo said,
Mhm.
yeah, I repeat, Ronaldo said, I know who you're talking about.
The decision to sack Enzo Maresca.
Yeah.
Reports from the club have learned that you're just like, shut up. Like, you don't have to be like this. There's another way to speak.
Oh, don't finish me, this guy. Manchester United's new manager bounce continues with their late win at Fulham, and Arsenal seem to bounce back from their loss against United. Welcome back to another episode of Ball Like You podcast. I'm Tolu, Real Madrid fan, and
Yeah. Nelson, Chelsea fan.
Chelsea, unhappy Chelsea fan today, but we'll get to it. We're
Yeah.
recording this right after the Arsenal Chelsea Carabao Cup semifinal second leg, which we will discuss in a minute. But let's quickly go jump into IQ deep dive, the Spurs City game. We mentioned the last episode. Spurs is a It's a tricky team for Pep City for some reason. I don't really know why, really, these things are like the way they are. Why a team like Spurs just gives. Do you have any idea why?
Every big team has their bogey team, the team that just gives them problems, the team that they can't just write off as a win. And it's usually a team that knows and believes in themselves that they can beat you. And they don't really see you for, oh, they've won 12 or on the bounce or they've got this, that, or the other. They're like, I remember last year.
I
Like,
remember
or
that
I
champ.
remember
I remember that Champions League game. I remember Pep on his knees. I don't know. Back in the day, it used to be for United, it used to be Everton for some reason. Just weird teams for, I mean, I don't understand. I like to deep into the psychology of it, why this happens. We literally said it last episode, and I didn't think it was going to happen really. And it really happened again. A Spurs team in bad form managed to get a result against City again. And in taking you through how they did it. First of all, Spurs started with three in the back, 3-4-2-1 essentially with Javi Simons and what's his name, Kolumwani in front behind Dominic Solanke. But when I saw that lineup, to be honest, I'm like, why? Like Spurs have done this against Arsenal. They did it against PSG. I think the Super Cup. They did it against like the big games I've seen Spurs play this season. And what happens with this is against City's press is when they have the ball, it's not like they play like this and they play like long, long like direct football. It's not something like they play direct football or anything like that. But when they play like this in this 3-4-2-1 formation, when they are trying to build from the back, which they try to do every time, it's so easy for City to press them. So they turn the ball over and over and over again. The goal that Semenyo scored, like they're all pinned man to man, and I can't remember. I don't know if it was Vicario or Dragusin that was trying to find somebody, and then Fernando Silva comes and wins the ball and plays it in for um, no, not Bernardo Silva. I think it was the defender that won the ball then played to Bernardo Silva, and something happened. And Bernardo Silva just tipped it to Semenyo and he finished. But like when they switched the formation, they brought out Romero. I think he's injured or something. I don't know what happened there. But and they brought in Papi Matassa and they had the extra body in the midfield. Went back to two in the back. It changed. It was a completely different game. Now they have the extra man that they can pass to. There's always that spare guy they can pass to and they can progress the ball forward down the pitch because there's always somebody open because the extra man. I don't know why Thomas Frank started like that. It hasn't, every time I've seen it, at least, it hasn't worked. I don't. Do you think he's being too cautious? Maybe his job is on the line. He keeps falling the same mistakes.
He's definitely feeling the pressure. 100% agree with that sentiment.
Yeah, because well, honestly, again, like I didn't text you, but like I saw it, and I'm like, he did this against Arsenal, it didn't work. He did this against PSG, it didn't work. I remember that Arsenal game. That's the game that Eze scored the hat trick, and
Hmm.
and when he made that, I think it was Xavi Simons that came in that game, and they switched to a back four and like three in the middle and wingers. You're gonna say something?
Did he get sent off that game? Sorry,
That's
no.
Liverpool. Liverpool.
Oh, okay,
Liverpool.
sorry.
But against
Forgive me.
Van Dijk. Yeah. But yeah,
Hmm.
when he came on that game, like he didn't have like a great game, but and people were saying, oh, like maybe that's when the flop shout started. But
Yeah.
I thought he found himself in great positions. Yes, he didn't like execute well, but for a striker, all you can, I mean, for an attacking player, if you find yourself in great positions and keep trying, just like what they slammed Bruno for, just keep trying. It's a good sign that something something might hit. So I don't know why he did it again, to be honest, Thomas Frank. But once he put that extra man in the middle and went to um, a back four with two center backs instead of three, all of a sudden they're playing like it turned into a basketball game, and City was nowhere to be found. What were your thoughts on the game?
Again, it's a bogey team of Pep's. I think his reaction and just how he looked after the match spoke volumes. Looked tired.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but when you said that, I'm like, Pep wears his emotions on his face. He look, you can just think of all the Spurs games. I can just see his face on this time on the sideline, just like stress, like, oh my God.
Like he was like, I just don't understand. Like they don't have young men Son anymore. Like how is this still the result? But for some reason, I like I said, it's just a match that you always watch with curiosity as a third party. Um, because it's usually going to be a good game. The players take it very seriously. There's a sense of belief on both sides. And I'd say it's kind of a recent, not a, I don't want to say rivalry. That's kind of weird, but it's, it kind of weirdly is, in a way.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is. And for the weirdest reasons, who would have thought Spurs versus City would be a
it's weird.
it's weird. And I was gonna talk through, I mean, there are some crazy goals scored in that game. It's funny how like when Spurs were playing a back three, because they're playing three center defenders and a wing back in Udogi, that is the perfect setup for some reason for like right or left sided cams, like a Shirky, because he can just find that spot in the middle. This was a transition, like we said, when they lose the ball because there's no like they're outnumbered in the middle, but like you can just find like spaces in the middle, and I guess that's how you break teams with the extra defender in transition. You got to move fast. Once you win the ball, just find the guy in pockets of space and attack the space. Beautiful goal by Sharkey. Then, like I said earlier,
Yeah.
um, the again transition, turning the ball over, and immediately Bernardo Silva to Semenyo. Semenyo continues his hot streak in at City, scores again.
One of the things that I, really take from this game is just looking at Conor Gallagher. It's a different man. He's
Oh,
a different man. Different man. I feel like Diego Simeone did something traumatic to him. We sent him over blonde, blue-eyed, loving life, and he returned.
a bulldog.
I mean, just a machine of a player, 25. He was always a bulldog, but I don't want to say the joy is gone from his face. I won't say that, but I feel like there's a different demeanor about him. And the delivery of that cross. for that goal
That second one, yeah.
were was nuts. Absolutely nuts. So, and that Cherokee goal was also top class.
Top class. Again, I mean, back to the first, Sri Lanka's first goal, I thought was a foul
Yeah.
on Gehi, I thought.
Oh, okay. You're talking about the first one. I
Yeah,
apologize.
the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that was a foul. I think that was a foul, but that was one of the points. Thank you for bringing it up because I forgot. When I was watching it, I was looking at Gallagher. I'm like, yeah, that's an Atletico player right there. Same thing happened to Kieran Trippier when he came back from Atletico. He just looks
Yeah. You look sad, bro. Um, but my gosh, what a pass. And I think Mark Gay played, you mentioned Mark Gay. What
yeah.
a top talent, just to be
He,
able to
he
come
was
in, not even really miss a beat. Um, I mean, he's the captain of the Palace. That speaks volumes for when you look at where Palace has gone under his tutelage and his time there. Um, and he's just a professional. I miss him as he was an academy player. He never really played for Chelsea first team, but I think it was the summer where we did away with in order to keep Rudiger, and it's like haha, jokes on us ultimately. But we sold Tamori, Fikayo Tamori, and we also sold Mark Gay, just to kind of make space for that center back. But then, such is life. But
yeah.
um,
Hindsight is 2020. Hindsight is 2020. But yeah, Mark Gahey, like I'm looking at his ratings right now, and like it's funny how you just see a sea of yellows and orange, but you see like two greens, then him is like sky blue. Him, Rodri and Shirky really stood out in that game. And
hmm.
for a team that conceded two goals after being in the lead, still having a high rating shows the kind of work that he did. But enough of him. That second goal by Solanke was Giroud-esque. It was it was one of those like crazy goals you see once every what in the Prem at least or in the top league once every 3 seasons maybe if that. Um, you mentioned the cross was great and but yeah that finish was he deserved it because he was a threat all through. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
that goal was made in Cobham, by the way.
watch out.
You know it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Both them boys.
Yeah,
Both them
yeah,
boys.
yeah. All right, fine. So Chelsea two, City two is what you're trying to tell me.
I'm just saying
They should add those
we're not
points
a
to your points.
they should give us something, a little something, just a little 10 piece. But
Yeah,
I think um yeah, that goal was nuts. It really was. I was really ecstatic for both players because both of them have kind of overcome some quite a bit in order to become like a first team starter.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't look back in anger at either of them
Either of
for where
them.
they're at.
Yeah. Let's go to Arsenal Chelsea that happened today. Second leg of the Carabao Cup. Arsenal win 1-0. It was a garbage time goal. Um, Chelsea's setup was um cautious to begin with. I don't think it's been a while since I've seen Chelsea play with three defenders and 3-5-2. I thought pretty much most of the game, both teams are just canceling each other out. Like both teams didn't allow the other team build from the back. There was barely, there was no like close call chance or you know what I mean, like that I can remember. It was just like close and Rosinha's you could tell like his strategy was to stay in the game as long as possible, then go for it towards the end. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, 3-5-2, you don't see that from Chelsea because it's been quite some time since we've had center backs that can operate in that type of system. So I mean, just seeing the personnel out there, knowing the formation that we were going to be playing in, and the key absences as well from the starting lineup, I knew it was going to be an uphill climb. it was definitely a different angle to take strategy wise from the gaffer. And I think I don't disagree with the way that he played because it's better to, that's how Chelsea used to play, to be honest. You go back to the Mourinho days, or you go back to any time where we were where we were actually winning things.
Conte.
Y- Yeah, Conte. Um, Plenty of different coaches have adapted that type of playing style, where you can kind of nick a goal or pick one in the last minute. I just feel like this game. Kind of got away from us. That's the most painful thing about it. Obviously, it's Arsenal. They're a great team. Um, but this was a winnable game, in my opinion. There was one chance, I think, I think Declan Rice might have crossed something in to Saliba. I think in it he headed it in, but
Yeah.
it hit right off. Cuckoo was in the
Yeah, I think
spot,
it was
but
Gabriel, I
perfect.
think.
Gabrielle, excuse me. That was a moment, and then there was a foul, alleged foul on Trevor Chalobah, on Gabriel Martinelli, which some Arsenal fans might think that was a pen. It was not. He got all ball. But it's just frustrating because we definitely, it's frustrating in terms of the score line because I think it doesn't flatter us, especially if you look at who scored and when. Um, But I think this game was always going to be an uphill climb based off of the way that we played in the first half of the first leg.
Yeah.
Robert Sanchez had the worst game I've seen him have in the entire season. He chose to have that game was his worst of the season.
Yeah.
Which is it's tough, but we still, thanks to Alejandro Garnacho, were able to get a brace in that game, and make it so that we're still in the fight. I just feel like if we had kept the same mentality that we had that second half of that first leg, we really could have beaten these guys. They're not that hot, and they're not in that great of form, to be honest. They're okay form, um, you know, but. Hey, we moved. It's okay. It just would have been that's the narrative at the end of the season would have been a little bit more nice to Liam Rosier if that was a title, a final that we would have gotten to, or um, if he had been able to reverse, the deficit in the second leg, yeah, they'd start singing his name. But it's okay. I saw him after the game. I saw his face. It looked like he was pained. He looked how I felt. Like, I don't want any of y'all to see me like actually this how
Breakdown.
much this
Yeah.
hurts.
Yeah.
But it hurts, this
It's
hurts. This
okay.
definitely hurts.
I'm gonna keep.
And yeah, yeah, he kept I stand by him. And I still think Kai Havertz is a waste of money. I think it's 60 million. It is down the drain. I think he's trash. I think Gyökeres is also trash. I don't think he had a touch on the ball until the 43rd minute. Um, I think Arsenal's not. I think this is a title that they are not having to fight too hard to win, and that's lucky for them because they really aren't. Out of all the years where they've challenged for a title, I don't feel like they're that impressive this year.
Yeah.
I think there's been better Arsenal teams
Oh,
that have been denied.
100%. I think, I mean, is what it is. At the end of the day, if they do win it, they win it. But like, I was gonna make the comparison to Atletico, the two times Simeone managed to win it. Um, I was gonna make that comparison where it's like it's just tough to beat, very tough kind of approach. But I'm like, but he had Diego Costa and Luis Suarez who bagged goals. So there's still that element that this Arsenal team don't have. But again, the result is the result. If they keep doing it, it's kudos to them. Um, the game today, like you said, neither team. I mean, Chelsea didn't go for it till late. but both teams, I mean, Chelsea's chances were more shots from outside. Same with Arsenal with shots and crosses. It was just like a stalemate game. That last goal was just the last goal because Chelsea had to go for it, but it was just a stalemate game. Like it was like I'll move this piece, then I'll move that piece, then you moved it. Like it was just very contained. Like I think that kind of game would have been boring to the average watcher, but I enjoyed the it's like playing Connect Four where everybody's canceling each other's move out. But yeah, the game was just it was just there.
Yeah, the game really for Chelsea started in the 60th minute. That's when our substitutes came in. Um, that's when we kind of started going for it, committing players forward. And obviously in the last 5 to 10 minutes, we committed everybody forward in hopes of getting to the final. Um, and that's what I mean, Kai Havertz, you can have that, but there was literally no defense on you. It was a everybody was up. So like
I
it
mean,
was
rather lose like that than not at least try is what it is.
to that point, I feel like Maresca is a type of coach. I don't mean to actually, let me not dog him out, Sean. We move.
But on both teams' fronts, really quick, Arsenal bounced back from their league defeat against United by beating Leeds 4-0 away from home, which was supposedly a big test for them. And again, own goal scored, of course, one of their top goal scorers. Then Gyökeres scores. Then Gabby Jesus scores. Then who else scores? I forget. Oh, Zubimendi. Zubimendi scores from Noni Cross. Um, Again, it was a good performance, a good Arsenal performance. It wasn't great, but it was good. But shout out to Gabby Jesus because that goal was nasty. I don't know if you saw the goal. He got the ball like he was vintage, old school Gabby Jesus, touch, turn, shimmy, bottom bins. It was a good goal.
Who are
Um,
they playing?
Leads away.
Okay.
Leads away. Well, I'm gonna come to you where you guys played West Ham at home. 2-0 down. Um, Sanchez hyping up the crowd like, yo, we have one more half. Rosinha brought in João Pedro, Cucurella, and Fofana, and all three of them made an impact. Fofana with the assist for Pedro, Cucurella goal, João Pedro's assist for uh, Enzo Lampard for the winner. Thoughts on that game?
Man, that game was amazing to watch in terms of what we did in the second half. It's exactly what you'd want to see from your team, in terms of like a response to what the situation was. And I was very proud of everybody who came off of the bench to make an impact. They're all bold substitutions. I think they were drilled clearly in terms of what they needed to do to expose the frailties in West Ham's defense. I loved what I saw in terms of squad culture, in terms of the togetherness, and that clip that you showed that everybody that went viral about Robert Sanchez at halftime,
Yeah.
just saying we're 2-0 down, like come on, chill out, basically was warranted. And then in the second half, I think in the post-match interview, Rosinger said that he said what Rosinger said was, I would have booed us too in the first half based off of how we're playing. But what y'all don't know is like how the fans sounded at the beginning of the second half. It was supportive. They were with us, that type of thing. So really exciting to see that type of culture in its infancy at Chelsea and starting to really get off its feet. So,
Mm,
um,
that's
and again, West Ham's not a team that you'd like to lose to. They were
London Derby.
probably, yeah, it's a derby. They were probably. kicking themselves at the prospect of getting all 3 points. Um, and yeah, credit to them. In the first half, we played really bad, but
Garnacho was very bad in that game.
Alejandro Garnacho is on the thinnest device. Even today, some of the last couple of kicks of the ball in this Arsenal Chelsea match were so wasteful.
I think sorry to cut you off. I think the backlash he got from that West Ham game, I could see him play safe in this game. I don't know if you could see that, but you could see like he didn't really take anybody on. Garnacho before would just go. He was passing back, was like he wasn't aggressive. And you can tell that I feel like I mean he's a human being. I feel like the blowback got to him.
Mhm. Yeah, he's a human being. Even though he's only 21, I think he's been in the league for like 3 seasons, maybe four. They're humans. The younger you are, the more likely you're on social media, the more likely you're reading things. You have friends who read things, brothers who read things. Um, in the case of Garnacho and I think Trent. But yeah, no, it's he. I don't know. I'm not invested totally in like I'm not all in on Garnacho. What I really am looking forward to seeing is him rise to the occasion, increase his valuation, and then we can
Chelsea fans, Chelsea fans will not finish me. Everybody is a business opportunity. You guys are, you
yeah,
guys
the same.
are. I just knew what the angle you're going. I was like, oh, here we go. He's gonna go that route and profit off of him and move on.
Fives, Steve, fives. That's how much he's worth right now. A couple of
Right,
fives.
fine.
I think if we continue to show the form that we showed this weekend against West Ham second half and the form that we showed, oh my days, against Napoli at the midweek. 'Cause what a match that was.
That was a great, that was a great match. Great result, great
Yeah.
match. Um, Sticking with in the Premier League last weekend, the uh Hugo Ekitike Isak derby in Liverpool, Newcastle didn't expect it to go as one-sided as it did. Ekitike was phenomenal. He could have scored a hat trick. He fluffed his lines 101. His second goal was great. Verts is showing his quality. Like that's what 6 goals in the last 10 games. Isak in the stands. Newcastle just I mean this season was not really their season. I think I'm surprised that they didn't start a striker, even though like the guy that they started up top Gordon ended up scoring. But Voltemade Norvisa, I was surprised by that. I mean I don't know what he was thinking. Uh I can't like be too down on him because he's a great coach. But I was confused by that. But it was a good game. It was a good. I don't know if you saw the goals or the game yet.
I didn't. I'll have to check those highlights
Yeah,
now.
yeah, it was a good game. I'm happy for Konate. He just lost his father. Just came back.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, he came. This was his first game back. That's why he missed the Bournemouth game. And he just first game back and he scored. And the whole team ran to him. He almost broke down in tears during the game after he scored. So shout out to him. You'd love to see that. At least the love that football can show sometimes to a player that's struggling. So. Shout out to him. It was a good game for Liverpool though. Lastly, in the Prem, United new manager bounce continues. They're playing well. That three, Kobe, Bruno, and Casemiro is like it's like the new Bruno G, Tonali, and Joelinton or something like that. That three just works. It frees up Bruno to cause chaos, and he had 2 assists. It protects Casemiro where he knows how to do like he protects him in an area where he's master, like just that center of the center defensive position where can a box breaker and scored a great header, great no look assist for Cunha. Cunha, like we said last week, will probably slot in straight in for Dogu's injury. Comes in, he scores again, and then shades of old United come. The penalty was, I thought, was a tiny bit harsh, just a smudge harsh. I don't know what you think about.
It was a little bit soft, it was.
Yeah, just a bit harsh, but what a pen though. Like what a pen from Raul Jimenez. I think he's 12 out of 12 career pens. So I think that's tied.
Yeah, I saw that stat. I was kind of, check my Cole Palmer stats. But
Obama it
yeah.
was 12 out of 12, then missed his 13th.
hmm
Yeah,
hmm I
but
saw that.
yeah, then Kevin scored a wonder goal, his first goal for Fulham. And I'm like, uh-oh, the headlines. I can see the post game, the headlines, the ex-United players about to lose it. And I say, oh, see what we said, this, that, and third. And then Šeško scores the winner. The dummy that Bruno did to lose Calvin Bassey isn't spoken about enough. Like that was a brilliant. Like Bruno is not faster than Carabao, and he just needed a yard, and just that. That's why those players are those players. Just just that quick thinking and just to buy a yard and cross the ball and great control of composure and finish. And lastly, I think there was reports that Carrick called Berbatov to come work with Šeško and
Oh,
over
really?
the last couple of weeks, and you know it's coming through. But I don't know thoughts on the game. Lastly, I was watching our boys, obviously, Iwobi and Chukwueze, and Iwobi was like that guy is a good midfielder, bro. Like he's a very good midfielder. But thoughts on the game?
Yeah, no, I mean it was a little bit of everything for Man United fans, I think, in terms of the goals scored, the players that scored, the manner in which the goals were scored, and just the fact that they almost fumbled it towards the end. But yeah, I don't really like seeing strikers miserable. It's not really my thing. So it's, whenever a striker who is struggling finally experiences that relief, um, I'm for that. It's a nice sight.
Mhm.
Um, I would appreciate it if they would start to drop points because it's getting to be a bit much. But no, it was a good result and they earned it for real.
It did, yeah, they did end it. And also a great line. I'm clipping that. I'm clipping that. But oh man, going to Spain though, Madrid leave it late, but Vinny scored a fantastic goal. Then Rayo Vallecano, like they are our Spurs, I'd say. Actually, we have many Spurs in Spain, but Valencia away, Vallecano away. Those two are very uncomfortable games for me. And this time, I think we tied away or lost. I can't remember. I think we tied away, but we played at home. Vinny scores a wonder goal. First of all, Jude is hurt. Looks like a hamstring. I'm nervous about that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Very, very nervous. But get well soon, Jude. Um, Vinny scores a brilliant, brilliant goal. Um, but we didn't defend well again, and they got back into the game and scored second half. And then Mbappe missed an relatively open goal. His body language was poor that game, Mbappe. I feel like, again, you know how the public works, right? Where another player will do the same thing somebody a player is doing, but it doesn't get highlighted enough. If Vinny was doing what Mbappe was doing during that game, it would be all over social media. Mbappe was disinterested. He will make runs. If he doesn't get the ball, he just like slouches. Like his 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 B says this word all the time, and I love it. His hot posture was poor. Like he wasn't he didn't seem into it. But fair play to him. He scored the last minute penalty to give us 3 points, so we can keep tabs with Barcelona. Barcelona beat Elche away 3-1. Rashford is becoming wasteful, but he scored again, so good for him. I think he's in double digits, but I've seen him miss a couple chances now. But so we're still holding on, still close. Um, Obviously we fumbled the bag against Benfica against Jose Mourinho.
I was wondering when it was going to come up, brother,
Yeah, yeah,
because that was box office European football. My
yeah,
dad texted me about that, and that's how you know.
yeah.
That's how you know when
That's
the old guy's watching. But wow, what a finish! Um, what a finish to that game. What a game in general. Um, Jose masterclass, vintage.
And he has to like, do the most, like always run,
Why would Tolu? Why would he not like that? Is prime. Like if that were me, if that were you, Shah, bro, you're probably you know
No,
when
I'm more
Enzo's
like this. I'll just be like,
yeah.
or
Well,
Carlo, Don Carlo.
yeah, some people are Mourinho, some people are Don Carlo.
Yeah, I'm not
Um,
mad at it though. I'm not, I don't, I'm not mad at it. I mean,
but man, what a game! What a game! That game and the Napoli Chelsea game were both nuts, in my opinion.
yeah,
Um, just box office, what you want from European ties, and what you want, honestly, to close out that portion of the format.
yeah, for sure, 100%. I mean, I can't hate on it. I think it was just one of those games where we played poorly. I don't think, how like you can look at some games and be like, we set up wrong. We like this guy didn't do this or this person didn't do that. I mean, I can point to like, Ronald essentially losing his cool and the counterattack goal. One of the counterattack goals that they scored really annoyed me. But um it was just one of those games like they played us off the park. They really did. We started off well. Mbappe first goal. I'm like, okay, let's keep this going. Then they deserve to win. Um, Usually I would like we can go into like just like how I did with Xabi Alonso. We can go into the like position stuff and stuff like that. But I just think I think positionally we didn't do much wrong. I think they were just better. And I think that Huijsen is not looking like the player that we bought. Asensio is still raw. He shouldn't be a starting center back for Real Madrid. Not yet. But he's been just exposed to so many games because of the circumstances. Rudiger is hurt. Militao is hurt. Alaba is just coming back. Carvajal is just coming back. Trent is hurt. Like this is the same thing that happened last season, and I think that defensive pairing, or where just like even in the weekend when Tchouaméni went back to the center back, like against the Rayo Vallecano this weekend, our back line was Camavinga left back, Huijsen, um, Asensio started, and then Valverde, right? Then Asensio came on at halftime because he's also playing through an injury. So it became Camavinga, Huijsen, Tchouaméni, and Valverde. So three midfielders in the back four. It's crazy. So I think that's part of our problem with the injury problems, and that's why they brought Pintos back, and that's why some people are saying that's why Xabi is gone because Xabi didn't want him.
Oh, Antonio Pintus.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
I
know what.
mean, dude, I'll never forget when that man came to my club. I think he came with no, excuse me. Pintus has been at Real, or was he with Conte? No, I'm thinking of
It was with, yeah, Pintos was at your club.
yeah, he's with Conte. Yeah,
Yeah, he was at
and
your.
yeah, I'll never forget the impact he
Yeah.
had. Like everybody was fit. Everybody was fit, ready to die.
Let, let-
Um,
let me tell you something. I don't know if you probably will not have seen this because you're not a Madrid fan, but when Jude Bellingham signed, the summer that he signed for Real Madrid, his first training session, there's photos of him. When you're jogging, you're tired, you're like, he was dead. They call him Diablo. Like if you see, like under he has an Instagram post. If you see under his Instagram post and the players posting about him, they always call him Diablo. They love hate him because he's
yeah, of course. That's
he's
how any good coach is, honestly, a good like conditioning coach. And excuse me, he was at Chelsea, it looks like back in 1998 as well for 2 years.
1998, really?
Yeah.
But I know it was in Inter recently too.
Hmm.
I think he was the reason why Lukaku was Lukaku that season. Inter won the Scudetto. He was him, and he was with
Yep. Yep.
Conte. So that's probably what you're thinking.
Yeah.
He was with
I think
Conte.
he might have been, I think he came with Conte to Chelsea as well. I'm
Chelsea.
not,
I think so too. I remember him at Chelsea too.
yeah.
But anyway, so hopefully we get our center backs back. Provide some stability in the back, and we'll see. You about to say something?
Yeah. Only if you're ready to move.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to mention because it's February the 3rd. Obviously, since the last time we spoke, the transfer market window has shut. Really didn't see much of note this window. One thing that I did remember, or I did bring up last time we spoke, was just the transfer saga of Jeremy Jacquet.
Yeah.
Very highly um, touted center back from Rennes. um, you looked at me and you're like, who? But again, I think Real Madrid was keeping tabs. Bayern Munich was very interested. Chelsea was interested, and obviously Liverpool has a desperate need at that position with the belief that Ibrahima Konate is going to be gone in the summer to the highest bidder. But what we saw happen is a pre-agreement was signed with Liverpool, I believe, on deadline day or just about thereabouts. um 65 million plus add-ons, and the player quite Keeley doesn't come until June. um that leaves Liverpool with the same bit of issues and you know being light at the position that they are in this season. But it does give them and brace them with a future, a great piece to build around. I think Jeremy Jacquet had been the captain of the under 17, under 18, under 19, and for France. As there's talks that he's the next Marcel Desailly. Uh, let's not let's not let's not take the piss. But my club was looking at him. I was, you know, I think 65 million was a little bit rich. When you look at Mark Gay, he was 25 years old, got sold for about 35 million, obviously on
6 months
ridiculous, yeah,
plus
ridiculous P's.
contract too. So
That too. Then he's on ridiculous P's, like 300,000 a week plus. So,
bro, like
different.
pause there though. Like talk more about that though, because he handled the Liverpool debacle like a G, and he got paid for it.
Yeah.
Talk more about that, please.
He got paid. He got to choose his choice of suitors. Chelsea was interested. Liverpool was obviously interested. Manchester City was interested. Real Madrid was interested. It was really his pick of the litter, whatever whatever fit him best. And he was able to choose and get paid out a ridiculous amount, generational wealth for his family and for his entire career. He's got stability. Um, Probably go Saudi afterwards if you'd like, just because.
Just to cap it off.
Yeah, just because of the connection. I'm sure they wouldn't do him dirty like that. If he wins titles at City,
Just take care of it.
they take care of you.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, one thing I did want to mention, and I know I'll put a bow on it, but where Chelsea was involved in this transfer is kind of interesting. So the fact that we didn't get Jeremy Jacquet um, did two things. It made it so the pressure of us getting him made it so players like Aaron and Salmino and Mamadou Sarr at Strasbourg, who are both Blue Co owned players, they're under our umbrella, and they all both have futures at our club at Chelsea. But both of them are on loan, one at Strasbourg and the other at Dortmund. Dortmund has been a chief offender of like whispering in the ear of your
Oh,
player, trying to be
that's
like,
the buddy that was crying when he got called back.
yeah, Aaron Encimino was playing very well for Dortmund. Dortmund fans are like, "Hey, you like yellow and black? This could be home, bro." And that's what they do. They try to turn the head of the player so that when the window and the loan period ends, that player is kind of like, man, well, this could be home. Like I could play here. And it's kind of nasty, not nasty, but it sucks when that type of thing happens, because then you have to like pull the player away from his adopted family, and it's kind of a weird situation where they're like, I'm gonna come back and play for you someday, that type of thing. But I do really applaud Chelsea for getting in the way um, of Dortmund and kind of seeing this, sniffing it out for what it was. The biggest offense that I've seen where this has happened and it's not gone checked was with Thibaut Courtois. He went to Atletico Madrid on loan. He had a phenomenal time there.
Champions League
Um,
final,
yeah, the Champions League final.
won the
His head
league.
was Yeah, won the league. His head was turned. I think if there's anybody who was making a compelling case to stay in Spain, it was probably the club that he had at the time. We were able to recall him and from that loan, but something had been implanted in his mind that we couldn't undo. And ultimately, we paid handsomely for that later down the line. I think when a lone player does get their head turned, or when that club starts acting a certain way, um, I have to applaud. I kind of do applaud the club for stepping in, even though it might give some unrest to that said player. Because what
Yeah,
wound up happening is Aaron Enslamino was recalled from Borussia Dortmund, came back to Chelsea,
and no
was
job.
expecting to play for Chelsea, but he will not play for Chelsea this season. He went back on loan to Strasbourg, and we recalled Mamadou Sarr, who just won the AFCON with Senegal, um, who's, I'm excited to see play. He's been doing quite well for Strasbourg. Um, and some will argue, what does Strasbourg feel about this? You know, um, I think they've lost a couple of players due to injury, and instead of selling players from Strasbourg, because players that we send to Strasbourg are getting offers from other clubs, that we are turning down because we are taking, they fit into the main scheme of things. There's a pipeline for Emeka Buga, the striker who's been playing quite well. I think when he got injured, we replaced him with another lone player from our army who could just step in instead of them having to buy a new player. So, um, anyway, that was kind of the merry-go-round that I witnessed. No, we didn't buy anybody, but we do have a new center back.
Yeah, I mean, I think you did touch on it on the player side because I mean, I don't know. I think that's the second side of the Chelsea model where sometimes the players don't know where home is for a while. So I think that's I mean, it's business at the end of the day, and it's good business for Chelsea, but also that's why I mean, I saw somebody talking about it today, and that's why like they say like players like yes, you can love a club, but you have to also prioritize you and your career because I mean, the club will have to do what's best for the club, which is what the club is designed to do. But you mentioned transfers, I mean, we saw another carbon product come back to Villa in Tammy Abraham. Um,
Yeah, I was happy to see that.
happy to
Happy to
see.
see him to get like,
He
he's
came.
just grown up.
Yeah, he's grown up. I mean, he's won titles. He's grown up. Besiktas activated their option to buy and bought him for 11 M's and sold him for like 18, like
Wow,
in 3 days. They literally announced him as a new permanent signing and then sold him days later.
that's cold, but again,
I'm sure
I
they
think
have an agreement or something.
yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, we loaned Timmy to Villa, um,
Yes, when he was there
and
in the
he
championship.
did,
Yep.
yeah, he did absolute
It
numbers for them.
did.
Tore it up, and always again, this is kind of a situation where in his mind, he was like, "I'm always going to come back to
Come
this
back here.
club." He created a love because he scored like 30, something like Drogba-esque, like not even no word of a lie that season. You
Yeah.
can look it up. It might have been in the championship. I don't know
Yeah,
if Villa was in the
championship, yeah.
Yeah, but it was still impressive. So, yeah, and look at him going back there, that club making a home for him and his family.
Hmm.
Um, he's not the same caliber of player due to not no
Injury.
fault of his own, just several injuries, to be honest.
Yeah.
But happy to see him fall on his feet.
Yeah. And the last, I mean, lastly, I'm happy for him because he's free. But I'm like, oh, great, he's free. No, he signed for Atletico Madrid. Ademola Lookman is an Atleti player.
Yeah,
And I was looking at it, and
yeah.
obviously, Nigerians, everybody's all on Atletico Madrid, and I'm like, oh, these guys that do some questionable things against my players of a certain shade. Um, I don't
Are
like
there a
that.
lot of Nigerian Atletico Madrid fans?
No, but now they
Oh,
are.
yeah,
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 they're
of
all
course. They'll
like,
migrate. They will migrate.
yeah, they were migrated, now, normal. They you could see under the comments, they're like, I'm following Atalanta now, I'm following Atletico Madrid now. The Nigerian fans are at Sevilla because of Aqua Adams and Ejuke. Now they're at Atletico because of, I mean, Ademola Lookman is a African player of the year, so like that's a big signing. I feel like from Atalanta to Atletico Madrid in terms of like playing style is similar. So it won't take him long to assimilate. And a strike partnership of him and Julian Alvarez would be they're both kind of dynamic attackers. If they play him, Julian Alvarez and Sorloth, I think I think that's a very good signing for them to be fair. But I'm just sad that he went to my bitter rivals. But all the best.
Yeah. What about Diego Simeone like retiring or stepping down? You hear about that?
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he's been there for a while. He's been the highest paid coach for a long time. He's been there.
Longest tenured, like one of the longest tenured coaches in Europe.
Yeah. So, and highest paid in Europe too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think they can play better football than they do based on the players that they have. But who knows? I don't care about them. Yeah, they'll be fine. But let's quickly wrap this up, Jerry.
Mhm.
Goal of the week. I mean, like I said, Vinny scored a gorgeous goal. Kevin scored a banger. Gabby Jesus scored a silky, jinky goal. But come on, man, the Scorpion. Oh, and then João Pedro's goal against Napoli was nasty too.
Hmm.
Left-footed shot, like weak foot shot, like that was a very good goal. Um, those were the goals that I saw, and Dom Solanke was like.
Give it to Dominic Ayodele
Ayodele. Ayodele is our grandfather's
Solanke.
name.
Shout out Solanke.
Sri Lanka,
Yeah.
Dominique, um, goal of the week for sure. Player of the week. This is where it gets sticky for me because I have lots of options, and I'll let you. I know who I'm leaning towards, and that's who you're gonna pick probably. But there's Casemiro, there's Bruno, there's Hugo Ekitike, Lamine Yamal, and João Pedro. There's one person I'm leaning towards.
Okay. What do you think?
No, you
Because I
don't.
know what the answer
What
is.
is the answer? I don't know what the answer
I
is.
mean, João Pedro has been in scintillating form off bench, starting, uh,
Yeah,
assisting.
Champions League, and
Yeah, Champions League, Premier League, lacrosse,
lacrosse.
baseball, lacrosse, as Anthony Edwards once said.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just an athlete.
Yeah.
He's balling.
Anything
He's
you want me
balling.
to do, I'm gonna do. Anything you want me to do, I'm
I'm
gonna do it.
gonna do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Tennis,
Yeah,
lacrosse.
he had a good week.
Yeah,
Fair
he
play
did.
to him. He had a very, very good week. And that Napoli performance and coming off the bench and scoring an assist against West Ham, we gotta give it to
The
him.
celebrations, like,
Hmm. So congrats to JP, Player of the Week. Upcoming United Spurs, fun game at Theater of Dreams. That'll be a great game to watch. But the game is Liverpool City. Now, if Liverpool beats City and Arsenal gets a result, just just tie the red this thing ribbons on the thing. Just tie. Abby, right? Like any
Yeah.
objection?
I mentioned this a couple of months, I think a week, maybe a month ago. I was like, it's over. And I still believe that. I said that like in December, early December. Um, hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. You
Expecting the
know,
worst. Yeah. Arsenal is playing Sunderland the Saturday before. So if I mean, Sunderland is not on great form. If they beat Sunderland, they're currently 6 points ahead. So if they beat Sunderland, they'll be 9 points ahead. And if City draw or lose with 13 games to go, um, and this Arsenal team that is I mean, they've lost only 3 times, conceded only 17 goals. You would imagine that that's game over. They're second in goals scored, first by a mile in goals conceded. You would think that's that. So we'll see what this weekend brings us. And that's it. What are you leaving them with?
um, you know, today was a bummer, as a Chelsea fan, but we still have great form in the league, and there's reasons to believe that we will continue to rise in Europe if we continue to play the way that we played against Napoli that second half. Looks like I was just looking on my end who we have next. So we've got Wolves and then Leeds. And I think Enzo Maresca lost to Leeds, if I recall. So would be interesting to see what Rosinho can do. Um, Again, yeah, we're in fifth point place. So really important part of the season,
Yeah.
with 14 games to go.
Yeah, us we're I mentioned that away at Valencia is a boogie game and away at Rayo. We just beat Rayo narrowly at home. We're going to Valencia away. And you know they're gonna boo Vinny every time. That's where Vinny got racially abused at. So I'm nervous about that game for sure. Um, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right, man. Please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for rocking with us thus far. We're approaching the 1 year mark in a couple of months of the pod, which is crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, crazy. 40 plus episodes in. Thank you for the support for sure. But catch you guys in the next one, man. Peace.
Peace.